What has been the biggest obstacle to overcome this season?
I think just how quickly things and protocols were pushed on us and how different it was from the previous college nights. And also, working with a side that is typically you're not, on a side with. It was really interesting. It was difficult at first, but then it became something that was really unique and interesting. And I think the two sides ended up meshing together really well.
What do you feel like has been the biggest obstacle to overcome this season?
The biggest obstacle for me, primarily in the orchestra, was the fact that we were not able to be in the pit. So we had to work really hard to find a way to record all of our music and all of our stuff and do it in a safe way so that no one's going to get sick.
What has been the most difficult obstacle to overcome this season?
Probably getting everything organized as far as times, like how we would share it with Purple Side and everything, because in the past, we've just kind of been able to overlap and had to worry about the sanitizing in between and all that, and also the communication with the college night board and the higher ups has been a little blurred this year as well, but we got it figured out after a couple weeks.
How has playing instruments and creating the score been different from years past?
I think the biggest difference is in the amount of practice time the orchestra had, and then in having to actually record those things and not being able to play for a live audience. It was a little different, I know for sure, for the orchestra, and not having a pit chorus, super different. It ended up being okay.
Good. How has playing instruments this year been different from years past?
Well, the biggest thing was proximity. We couldn't sit right next to each other, so we had to be very careful about making sure all of our chairs were the 6 feet apart, and that we didn't have too many people in a space, which fortunately wasn't a problem for us in the band room. But there wasn't really a lot different, because there were a bunch of studies done that shown that instruments don't really have that much of an effect on aerosols.
Oh, interesting.
So we were actually relatively safe.
Compared to last year, how does this year's cast experience differ for you?
I think this year's cast experience is different because I got to experience both sides this year. And for a lot of the freshmen coming in, this was their first look at college night. They didn't get, purple side and gold side. They got the college night cast. And I think that was really, really, really important and should leave a good lasting memory for a lot of the freshmen.
How has the pandemic impacted how you guys practice and play?
Definitely has made things a little bit more challenging. We've had to, because we have to sanitize the balls and everything before and after practice, we have to sanitize our hands periodically throughout practice. And then, of course, adding the mask makes it that much harder because it's hard to breathe with them on. As far as playing, still the same, just the mask and you can't be as close to each other, but you still give the same energy, the same intensity as you always have.
What has it been like for you working with Purple Side this year?
It's been interesting to see the differences and stuff like that. I feel like both people on both sides got a chance to appreciate the work that both sides do, which is rarely seen. And it was a good experience as a goal to get to see how they work.
Did recording go smoothly, you felt like, or was it a challenge?
It didn't at first, mostly because we didn't really know exactly what we were doing or how we were going to do it until Andrew Fancher got involved and gave us some good mics. And
Love
then
that.
we got it all sorted out. Yeah.
Awesome. And then you kind of touched on this, but what has it been like collaborating with the other side?
Me and Jalen, I feel like, being on two different sides and with two different, kind of atmospheres, we were two different kinds of composers, but I feel like coming together and bringing our two different styles of composing together ended up creating some really cool music. So I think that it was definitely something that's going to affect the sides from here on out, being able to take from each other all of our work styles. So.
What has it been like collaborating with the other side this year?
Oh, we had a great time. The fun thing about the Purple and Gold orchestras is that we always have different instruments on each side. Like the purple side is usually very string heavy and the gold side is usually very brass heavy. So when we had everyone put together, we really made a full orchestra. It was a great sound.
Yeah. Could you tell a difference in the music compared to years past?
Yes, there was definitely that infusion of the classic gold, kind of more showy, jazzy type music combined with the purple orchestral type stuff, and it turned out really, really nicely.
What is your biggest takeaway from working with both sides this year?
That we're the same. That there's really not a difference between us, that both sides are the same things that we love about both sides and the same things that we complain about on both sides are still there. It just showed how similar both sides really are.
Do you think that that's going to be something that we carry into future college nights now knowing that about each side?
Oh yeah, I definitely think that we should start something, that we should be like every 100 years there should be a combined show. There definitely should be. That should be something that we should stick with because it should be something that people should see. Like every time you get gold side and purple side and you never get to get the unity of it. So if we do a combined show every 100 years, it'll remind people that like, yeah, there's tension and yeah, like both sides are competing, but it's really our homecoming tradition together. 100 years would just be really symbolic, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's like, you know, every 100 years you get to see it. I just think people should experience that. It'll give them a lot more respect for what both sides do.